Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston, and I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello. That's the first time you've done the intro in a while. How was that? Did you run out of breath?
Oh, I was like, oh no, what did we say? Oops.
No, it came out great. It's like you never left.
And with that being said, something that just got here also, the Navy cards. We
The,
finally got all of our Black Navy cards from set two revealed. So I think it's a good time to get a good understanding of what's good, what we think is good. Are they gonna match up to set one decks? Maybe even kind of consider their power level in the overall upcoming meta.
Absolutely. Black is a very interesting cards. They all have their own little archetype where minusing characters cost and killing them off of that.
Mhm.
It's pretty unique. There's nothing else that really does that. There's some stuff in black that does it where we are killing some lower cost cards, but nothing to the magnification that black does it. So we have multiple cards that lower. We see it all over the theme deck. There was the activate main Tashigi. We have the activate on play Helempo and activate on play Hina. Lots of cards that minus and a few cards that KO like the leader Suzaku and the Garp as well from the starter deck as a main KO as well. Trash and kill. That is the main mechanic. This is the mechanic we're going to use to optimize the deck and try to figure out, what it's going to look like.
Mhm.
Me and Preston off camera put something slightly together. It's not a full deck, but cards that we think are going to be very strong in the black deck,
Mhm.
and what this deck will kind of look like in the meta.
Yeah, it's a first look. I don't know if we entirely have counts down. I think we were thinking cards that we put at four drops and in order are going to be as important. Like we're going to be needing our 2K counters. So
Yep.
we have our 2K counters at 4K, which is the one drop Suru.
Yep.
We have our main blocker or early blocker with Rocinante,
Yep.
and then being at like a four.
Probably.
So these are like that's kind of our theory when we're looking at these cards we're going to most likely play four of, but also these cards are more important to remember when you are deck building.
Yep.
Um, and that brings a good point to like the secret rare. This card is like the nuts. Like the super rares in this set are incredible for black. This it gaining a secret rare is really good so that they have something wild to be able to play.
Yep.
Uh, but for like the secret Kuzan, we're thinking that you're most likely not going to be playing four of, so we have him as a two here. So if you're looking at this thinking this deck list is ass, it's more of a thought process and not a full build yet.
Right. It was quick. We haven't tested it fully. This was just our thinking going into it. It's not even a 50
Yeah.
card deck. The
Yeah,
cards
exactly.
that we have it for are what we think are probably going to need to be actually
Exactly.
at four. You're going to need your early blockers. You mentioned it. You have your 2K combos, and out of all of the extra character cards, we think Borsalino is probably just the most beneficial going into the next set. This card can't be KO'd by effects, and it's going to be very important in the next set. Your barrier, your immunity, whatever you're familiar with in other games.
Mhm.
Black has a ton of KO potential, and we're probably going to see a lot of black. Borsalino is going to negate a lot of these effects, so going to be very important. Has combo power. 6K blocker on your opponent's turn is a 4 drop. He checks all our boxes. Super
Yeah.
good. Impact Wave's another one. Black didn't get a ton of combo power out of the extra cards. There was two. I have the other one here because it does have a cool trigger effect. We'll get to that. Impact Wave is pretty standard, 2 drop, 4K power, but it KOs an active that 3 or less with the Kuzan secret rare or maybe a negative that got hit. You could hit something nasty. It does say your opponent's you're on your turn, so it wouldn't work. But KOing a 3 drop on your opponent's turn, still very good.
Mhm.
But everything else after this, we wanted to highlight other good black cards. That's our what we have at 3 counts. We like this Kuzan, another good secret rare. Draws a card, minuses your opponent when attacking, all good. Doesn't have
Mhm.
combo power, so we think it's slightly missing something, and that goes for most of our cards that are at 3.
Hmm. Yeah, and to point out, Impact Wave is a 3LS
Yep.
counter
Yep.
that's hitting your Nico Robin, that's
Yep.
hitting a lot of your scabbards are in that three
All of them.
area
Yep.
because that's how the combos work.
Hmm.
Um, so you have to think about those things when you're using this.
Yeah.
Your opponent's characters aren't going to be minused on their turn,
No.
but a lot of cards are already three or less. You're going to get a majority of cards that are going to be three or less that you're going to be able to hit with that. So it's most likely going to be one of your four ofs for your counters, especially because it's 4K.
Yep.
Um, you want that extra boost.
Yep. Black on its own with no other archetypes, no, not looking at the Garp, not looking at the Z, is you have a lot of strengths here. A lot of your cards are strong. So your
Hmm.
Smoker at 5 drop 7K, usually when we see cards like this, these are vanillas. But
Hmm.
not only is Smoker not a vanilla, he has an incredible effect, another card that can't be KO'd by card effects, and he
Hmm.
could get double attack. This double attack is actually not that hard to achieve if we can hit the 10 drop Kuzan,
Hmm.
minusing everything by 5. If they have any 5 drops, they're going to 0. So you're
Yeah.
getting this double attack not as hard as we thought it was going to be.
Right.
Suzaku KOing a 5 drop, very good. A lot of oppression coming out of the Navy, which is very thematically correct, which I
Hmm.
love. You're going to see a lot of these hard card powers. You're going to see a lot of them at high counts. I think this is a general idea of what the black deck is going to look like. Hit your
Hmm.
10 drop Kazan, and then start slowly KOing things with Garp or Sakaz. Akainu? I'm going to call him Akainu.
Yeah. Scum.
Um, that's what this will look like. It's very early purple. I think it has that similarity. Very comparable. You even have the 2 drop blocker just like they do. It's very similar. I think. Yeah.
How do you think mono black stands up to your set one meta? Do you think it competes with the destructive power of purple
Yeah.
or the speed of green?
So green might be tough. Green is a type that we've seen so familiar. Evan has done very well, but we have a lot of key counters to what green does. Green really can't drop 8 drop kid. Kuzan is an absolute nightmare for that card. Kuzan and either Suzaku or another formidable KO card like Monkey D. Garp absolutely just kill that kid. So that works. Purple, they have another good matchup. We have cards that don't get KO'd by effects. So if
Mhm.
they drop 10 drop Kaido, we're keeping Smoker. We're keeping Borsalino. The 3 drop Smoker as well, which I have
Mhm.
right here, can't be KO'd by effects as well. There
Mhm.
are a lot of cards that can't be KO'd by effects. So I think this is going to switch up the meta a little bit. In that way. And we have black here, but I made quickly black purple because I think this is probably another gonna be a common deck. I
Mhm.
threw this again. We threw this again really quickly. Highlight, ramp. Ramp is going to be
Mhm.
super important. You're definitely playing ulti. You might play Jack as well. It's going to
Mhm.
come down to testing, but we're going to get to these cards that are just going to wipe boards.
Right.
King combined with Kuzan or any type of minusing or
Mhm.
KOing huge cards. King is
Mhm.
killing 2 guys. That 3 drop could be the 8 drop kid we kill.
Right.
There's just so much potential for black and specifically, I think black purple.
Yeah, black purple seems pretty nuts because of those things that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping big cost cards into multiple wipes
Mm-hmm.
with like even we didn't drop Who's Who in here,
Nope.
but he could KO some big stuff
Nope.
with a Kuzan on board.
Nope.
Um, so if you're using like your key parts of black to drop cost
Mm-hmm.
and then using your destructive KO half of purple with ramp to get to your Kuzan and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
you have a good chance that you'll have a very good dual color leader.
Mm-hmm.
Um, whether the dual colored leader at 4 life is going to make a huge difference, we'll have to see if everything else is going to end up being too aggressive for this type of deck.
Yeah.
But we saw Law doing well at the end of set one meta.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you felt really good with red green Luffy. Like
Mm-hmm.
that deck seems ridiculous also.
Yeah.
So four life leaders aren't anything too much to worry about. Like you're gonna have the benefit of dual color at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the benefit of being these two colors is they might have the best blockers out of all of the colors. I pull out a couple more. The Uda and Hina, they have the ability to not only block one attack but stop a second. You have access to Borsellino and Queen, who are both 6 drop or early drop 6K blockers. And just the next turn after we play our good blockers, we're dropping into huge things like King. And if you have been playing purple already, you already know that dropping King on curve ruins a lot of your opponent's offensive pressure, which only sets you up for your next turn, which is either Kuzan or something similar. And if we get to Kuzan and we're playing some of these purples, your opponent just loses. There's
Yeah.
nothing that really can do, and there's not a huge and easy answer to killing Kuzan right now, except other black decks. So,
Hmm. It's seems like a black purple is going to be really nasty.
mhm,
Mono black's going to be pretty good.
mhm,
You had mentioned that they have low cost, high power cards.
uh-huh.
So that's going to disrupt a lot of set one stuff, which I felt like was pretty balanced.
Yeah,
So you're going to be running over stuff a lot easier from set one.
yeah.
A little bit of a power creep, but I think it's going to be okay in the long run.
Yeah, I think purple still will struggle from early game. I think that is a still a weakness for them. You know, they're not going to drop bombs early. You know, your kids and your Luffy's and your are going to be have that early offensive pressure. But if we can survive 1 or 2 turns, and that's where the mastercraft and the list will probably cater, is how we figure out to deal with the early game. But as soon as we figure this out confidently, I would say that this deck and this version of this deck will probably be high tier. A's. I feel very good about purple black being in the S tier conversation. Just with something similar to this, I'd imagine. Counts will obviously change, but these
Yeah,
cards are just they work so well together. It's hard to imagine this deck not being very good off bat.
right. Very destructive.
Destructive and fun. These are all new characters that
Mhm.
everyone's going to be very excited to play. I know I am. Especially the alter arts on these cards are just absolutely
Gorgeous.
filthy. Need to get my hand on that Kuzan. That Kuzan made me sweat when I saw that guy.
They definitely pulled out some good art for set two, that's for sure. They listened to the community and gave us a little bit more hand-drawn, like original art,
Hmm.
which is nothing to balk at. Like everything that they were saying, it's okay art is Oda original art, which is also
Yeah,
incredible. So
yeah.
they're really making this game look pretty. Really excited for it.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm definitely excited to play this black deck. Let us know down in the comments. You know, what did we miss? Is there a card that in the black set you think is gonna be very good? There's a couple that we definitely could have highlighted, but we just wanted to focus on the core. Are we more excited for black? Are we excited for black purple? We didn't talk about black red. Are we? There's some GARP players out there that are very excited. Let us know down below.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a whole side of the conversation that could be overlooked from us right now. So let
Absolutely.
us know what you think about it
Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Later.
later.